So I'm going to do a little video today which is a little bit different to normal. I had an idea, and that's to do a video on this bulb. Now this bulb is a Philips bulb, 19 watt, 6500 Kelvin, 200,300 lumen. Right, that's what it's rated for. Now this bulb I've had in use for about 18 months, and I was actually thinking not long ago, actually that bulb's doing quite well, it's not blown yet. Because my experience with LED bulbs, they last, 6 months to a year, then they fail. Because they're super environmentally friendly, aren't they? I can't even say it properly. They're environmentally friendly because they last much longer, don't they? I'm pretty sure it's less environmentally friendly to make all this instead of a glass bulb with a filament in it. Anyway, less environmentally friendly, not better. Yes, they use less energy. That's the only benefit. The rest of it is a downside. Anyway, that's my pet peeve. A couple of days after I thought, it's going really well, and it decided to start flickering. And I've already cracked it open. Did it really carefully, just got the spudge around the edge there and just worked its way around, all the way around, just gradually working it in. And just cut between the sealant and what have you so I could get the top off. Of course, the intention is to try and fix this thing. Now let's have a close look at the circuit board and we'll see what we're dealing with. See all the diodes laid out, even numbered. 28. That's nice. Actually, that 36. 36 is over here. Is that the highest number? I think it is. They jump around the place, so obviously it's whatever. I don't know. There's 36 there. I guess 35 is that top one. So I have 36 diodes. I'm not going to count them. But you can see here, apart from some compound covering up some of these ones have got dark spots on, and this one is also getting a dark spot on. So we've got 3 LEDs here which have failed, definitely failed. Now this bulb was just basically, it still worked, but it just flick on and off sometimes. So I'm actually wondering if maybe we can get in here and replace these 3 LEDs. The part of the problem with this is that this is not an aluminium PCB. It will be an aluminium PCB, you can guarantee it is. Aluminium with an extra eye in there. 2 eyes and aluminium, as I'll demonstrate up there.
Aluminium, aluminium, aluminium.
That's going to be like a massive heatsink. Obviously it's screwed to this plate. So I'm going to unmount it off this plate and we're going to see if we can get these. Getting them off is easy, but reattaching new ones could be tricky. So I'll start taking the screws out and we'll see what we can see. I mean, it would be nice if we can actually get into the driver circuitry as well. Because if I can actually get the driver, maybe I can drop the voltage down or the drive current down so that actually reduces the stress on the LEDs so they last longer. The problem is that these LEDs, they don't last because they're overdriven. They're pushed too hard by the manufacturers. Because they want nice bright lights, so you're really impressed by how good they are. Well, yeah, they're great for the first 6 months and then they start flickering. I'd rather have them drive at 90% the power or 80% the power, be a little bit dimmer and last for 5 years. I think that'd be better. Anyway, let's see if I can get this off here. It may even be glued. That might be a glue. That's solid. I think it's glued. Boo. Let's see if we can go underneath it. Yeah, that's definitely glued. That's solid. This could be hard to get off there. It is good they've glued it though. Thermal compound. Thermal adhesive. I'm wondering if I should even bother taking it off actually. What do you reckon my chances are of soldering this in place? Probably not good. So over here I've got my LED tester thing. Big Clive had one of these and I thought I'd just sort of do a video on it using it. I've never actually used this before. High voltage coming out of these probes, a bit dangerous. Don't touch the bloody probes. Alright? Don't touch the probes. So I'm putting across the terminals here and there's nothing showing up directly on those. And if I go across some of the LEDs, you see they do light up. Alright? So I can actually go across a bank of them and they'll light up. And now I can't see anything. But that's okay. Alright? But this is a current limited supply, which is the whole point of this. Go to the positive side instead. Yep. Yep. There we go. There's a bank there. we go. And this one here is dead. So that one there is not working. That side is not. I don't know about any others. There we go, those two there. But yeah, this is what this is for. It's for doing this kind of thing, so you can actually track down the banks of LEDs. Now, if you really want to be fussy about it, you can sit down and actually look at the traces on the circuit board and go, okay, that sort of goes across here somehow. Does it? There you go, those two together. Those two together. I'm not sure where these go. That one's on, but that looks like it may be shorted. That one's open. That one there I accidentally damaged, so that's probably dead. Right, you can actually do individual LEDs as well if you want. So, yeah. It allows you to figure out what's going on. But this is high voltage. I don't know what current it puts out. It's I do not know how well restricted it actually is and how safe it really is. But it's enough to drive these LEDs, and it's high voltage, so I imagine this could probably hurt you quite badly if you did this wrong. Anyway, but we can see that we've got a bunch of LEDs which just aren't working. Not sure where these paths here are. Those ones there. I mean, those ones are working. Those might be in parallel then. Those ones there. Don't know about that one. Using this, you can actually go around and figure out which LEDs are blown. But like I said, it's a bit of a challenge trying to get that right. Alright, so those work. That one doesn't. But those ones with the dot spots we already know are bad. And this one here, I think I scraped it when I was probing. See, that one's dead now, so I've damaged that one. But anyway, we'll turn this off and make myself safe again. I thought I'd show that. So this thing here was telling us, you know, it's working, and it showed us the groups because you can injecting high voltage and current limiting and that sort of stuff. So that was useful. A bit dangerous, but useful. So now I've actually got my power supply here, my Signant SPD 4306X. This is set up on channel 2, believe it or not, or channel 3. In joke, don't worry, I'll do a live stream. Oh no. I've got it set to 18 volts at 30 milliamps. Right, so 30 milliamps is like maxing out an LED. These LEDs are triple chip LEDs, I believe. We're going to connect this up to an LED and see what the voltage drops down to. Now, hopefully you can see it on camera. Let's see if I can get a bit closer with this. Power supply is turned on, and I'm going to measure this corner chip here. And I've already done this, so live stream people, which I'm currently watching as well. I'm currently live streaming, so they've already seen me do this, but I thought I'd better record video. There's that. And it's setting at 8.4 volts, basically 8.5 volts at 30 milliamps. And that brightness looks about right. If I go across two chips, that's two chips. That's now 18 volts. And that looks about the right brightness at 30 milliamps. So, yeah, the 9 volt chips. So all the replacement LEDs I've got are only 3 volt or so, you know, roundabouts. The standard single chip LEDs. Where these obviously triple chip LEDs. Yeah, so I haven't got the parts to fix this, which is a shame. I was hoping I could just replace these with some normal chips that I've got laying around, but these are 9 volt chips. I don't have 9 volt chips, so I can't replace them. And there's 4 here which need replacing. So that's 36 volts worth of LEDs which need replacing. If I did put 3 volt chips in there, that's only going to be 12 volts. That's going to be 24 volts out. Not good enough. It would overstress all the LEDs with too much current. So, yeah, not ideal, not good. So I think I'm probably just going to scrap this bulb. I'll put it to one side, chuck it in my junk box. Maybe one day I can salvage the good LEDs off this to repair another bulb. If it's even worth it. I think this bulb here was something like $30 or something like that. I think it was something like that. It wasn't that cheap, but it wasn't that horrendous either, I think. Or maybe it's $40, I don't remember. But it's only a couple of years ago I got it. It's annoying that, you know, you used to be able to get a incandescent bulb, literally $1 or $2, and it would last you years. Like, easily you could get a decade out of it without any worries whatsoever. And these considerably more expensive, and they last a fraction of the time. And they're worse for the environment. False economy. Great for manufacturers, I'm sure they're making a killing.